goal. That is a dream goal.
They found it. They finally found the goal they were looking for.
What a finish that is. Do not scratch your eyes. This is really happening. Hello everyone, welcome to the Game in Frame live stream. I'm Josh Pratt with Joshua Jokru on camera, and we're at Jack McManus Field for a potentially seismic evening in the APSL Metro relegation battle. If we put up the table, you can see the bottom four all playing each other in the next 5 hours. Both games here on Roosevelt Island with a quarter of the season remaining. These two back-to-back six-pointer contests could prove pivotal. First up, we have the bottom two, Central Park Rangers and NYAC at 7:30 p.m. Zoom Snyder will host Vistula Garfield. Central Park Rangers start proceedings in the dreaded automatic relegation spot after an abysmal 2026. 6 back-to-back defeats with 25 goals conceded and only 6 scored in answer. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and CPR took the Easter break to do some serious shopping in the transfer market. Last I counted, I think there may have even been a few more late registrations, but 12 new players signed up in the last 4 weeks, expecting 11 of them to be in the squad today, and we're expecting 8 will be starting. Notably, they've signed up 6 of Columbia University's graduating seniors. Is that going to be the solution to halt Central Park Rangers' free fall and slingshot the Reds out of relegation danger? NYAC come in today also in poor form and desperate need of points, especially given the tough running that they have after today. They will not have any more games. Well, sorry, they're going to have one more game against the bottom 4 side, but the rest are going to be against top half of the table sides. And NYAC's form has been little to boast of. They've got 3 points from their last 9 games, albeit the victory did come 3 weeks ago, gave them a much needed lift against New York International. And you have to acknowledge as well that NYAC's defeats overall have been a lot more narrow than Central Park Rangers, with 1 or 2 exceptions. But their biggest defeat this season has been by 3 goals, and they've lost quite a lot of crucial games by just a single goal, which is why they find themselves where they are now. And NYAC's last visit to Jack McManus Field was painful. They visited Zoom in mid-March, came back from 3-0 down in the second half, only to see Zoom win it in stoppage time. I want to erase that memory. It is really a do or die afternoon for both these clubs. But for all of us neutrals, a lot of entertainment to look forward to. The expected starting lineups we've got for Central Park Rangers: new signing Kelleher in goal, Havez and Cooper in front of him, Jonathan Lima at left back, Justin Peter at right back. So 3 of the back 4 new signings. Francosa, one of the Columbia men, is in the centre of midfield alongside Brandon Newman, who's also from Columbia, and then Adrian Wheaton Shop. Front 3 is going to be Sai Sokolowski, again a Columbia player, missed most of last season, his senior year, but before that had a pretty handy scoring record, 11 goals in 32 games. And he's going to be alongside Matt Barinjo, who's one of the few survivors from the Central Park Rangers coal, which I don't think anyone could argue needed to happen. Barinjo scored the winning goal when these two sides met in the full half of the season. It was the only goal. And the last 3 matches between these teams have been low scoring. It was a 0-0 before that, and then NYAC lost 1-0 also here about 18 months ago, a Miri penalty. Hopefully we'll get some more goals than that today. But for both these teams, it's not going to be about how they get the job done, it's going to be about getting the job done. Both in desperate needs of points. The gravity at the bottom of the table has sucked them down and down and down. Central Park Rangers are going to be in the white strip, and NYAC in the red. CPR with a very deep squad. today. NYAC, as has sometimes been the case in the past, them have got players arriving right before the kickoff, but it's certainly a handy starting lineup. They've got Vasilios Dimopoulos in goal core, and at Nesheim, the centre backs, McKeown at right back, Hakeem Phipps at left back, Tony Rocker, who had a brilliant March, scored 3 top bins goals in the centre midfield. He's going to be the key for NYAC today. Humbert Ferrer alongside him, Cole Perret in the number 10 position, Leighton Purchase on the left wing, Farouk Osman on the right wing, and Jack Doran leading the line. So for NYAC, it's a 4-3-3. For Central Park Rangers, it's a 4-4-2 with a diamond midfield. Yeah, Mike, what's Havertz's number? Your centre back. Yeah, thanks. Lines lady just doing the final check of the nets. Jack Doran, who if I'm not mistaken is wearing 101, is going to kick us off it. And so begins an afternoon that may shape who ends up going down to the Metropolitan Soccer League, or indeed Garden State League, possibly if it's Vistula at the end of the season. The bottom 4 all playing against each other. It's the 2 in the most desperate position who start these proceedings. Can Central Park Rangers halt their free fall in 2026 with their new signings? They're making a decent start here. It's Matt Beringer in the area. Kosa, Newman, Wheaton's shot, Let's Fly, cannoned off of court. And here's another one of the new signings, Hafez. And certainly a big question is how quickly this very new Central Park Rangers side can gel. But that was a decent bit of connection early on. And of course, with that midfield trio being all Columbia University graduating seniors, does give some team chemistry, and they've got a few others in there as well. Here's Cooper, Jonathan Lima, forces it backwards for Hafez, and here's Kelleher. Hafez again, Francosa, give and go with Peters, but one back by NYAC, and here's Hakeem Phipps. Court, falls to Tony Rocker, wearing the armband for NYAC. Ball ran away from Jack Doran. Brought down in the middle by Newman, and he's going to search for Matt Beringer, who may have sprung the offside trap there, but the ball's slightly too far ahead of him. His court. Hakeem Phipps, who we've seen for many years on Game and Frame, was back on the Borgetto side. Would have loved to have been in this division. Fell short a few times in the Metropolitan Soccer League Division 1 from promoting before they ceased to exist. But Borgetto at their prime played some of the best football we've ever live streamed, that's for sure. held up to the front line, helped on by Sokolowski, who's a big physical presence. Should note as well, if you didn't catch the Lansdowne New York International game earlier today, Lansdowne winning 4-2, so that pushed them within 5 points of the Greeks, those teams both having played 16 matches. New York International on 15 points, a bit of a buffer away from the relegation zone, but if they don't pick up more points come the end of the season, certainly feasible to imagine that they could be at risk of relegation. Last few seasons, generally 20 points has been the magic number to survive relegation. Here's Court, drills it forwards towards Jack Doran. Cooper. CPR with most of the ball in these first 4 minutes. Newman. Lovely first touch by Jal Lima, and he's broken the midfield line. He's got some options ahead of him. Matt Beringer. Go out, I think, for a throw in right by the corner flag. But that's not the first time already that Central Park Rangers new look midfield has combined well to break the lines. No, looks like it did go out for a corner. Beringer low towards the near post, not a great corner. Cleared out easily enough by Humbert Ferrer. Cooper. It's another pass that Hafez won't thank his centre-back partner for. Interesting fact about NYAC is, compared to the rest of the bottom four of the table, their goal difference is vastly superior. They're on almost minus 13. Compare that with minus 30, minus 30, minus 32 from the others. There's a awkward cross in from Peters, well dealt with at the far post by McKeon, but it really belays the fact that goal difference, that NYAC have lost so many of these games by slim margins. New York International was the first team they'd beaten since October. And probably deserved to win that, especially based upon the second half performance. But too many other times this season they've fallen just short. And particularly their defeats against the other bottom four, all of them by single goal margins. And of CPR and NYAC certainly have far harder run-in. They've got Leros, Doxa, Richmond, Pansiprints and Hoboken, all those top half of the table teams. Just Vistula left for them to play from the bottom, and that is a away game as well, not the easiest trip to Garfield. Central Park Rangers, they're going to have New York International next weekend. Of course, we'll have that back here on Game of Frame. Then they'll travel to Leros, then home against Vistula, home against Zoom. So 3 games in there where they will certainly believe they can pick up points. They finish against Lansdowne, that of course will be a big challenge. But CPR be hoping they can ensure their survival before that final date. Commanding header by Cooper. And Hoboken right now hosting Richmond County. They kicked off an hour earlier than us, so they'll probably be in their second half. Here's a Rocker, sharp spin, and it's fed out wide to Osman. And then Cole Perret got his feet in a muddle, and the second crossing by McKeon. Not the required quality, and that's a good throw up by Kelleher. Sokolowski, excuse me, feeds it back to Newman. Hafez. Cooper, NYAC not playing a particularly high press. Wheaton's shot, clumsy tackle by Humbert Ferrer. Franchos sat with a ranging ball towards Beringer, who applauded the idea. Cool. Ferrer a little loose with this pass. Phipps will get the ball back though for NYAC. Ferrer losing it to Frank Chosa, but NYAC do get the throw. Rocker. Dimopoulos made a few very handy saves in NYAC's victory against International. Here's Farouk Osman, well played out the back there from NYAC. Osman asked just a little too much of McKeon with the pass. Beringer. Nearly found its way through to Sokolowski. Leighton Purchase. Chatteran is going to give it chase, but it's always likely to be second best to Hafez. Cooper drills it up. Matt Beringer couldn't connect with the flick on. McKeon. Osman. Will surely get a free kick there, I thought. Felt like a little shove in the back, and then that was a naughty retaliation tackle. Good advantage by the ref. We might see a yellow coming back from that. Rocker then with the tackle. I have to say, of all those tackles, I think Rocker's was probably the fairest of the lot. Got the ball first there. And the referee's going to give a yellow, I think, for Osman for his tit-for-tat tackle. I think Rocker was hard done by that second tackle. Definitely got some of Shao Lima in the follow through, but got the ball first. Lima might have got a knock on the knee in that though, and always painful. Whilst we have this break, let me remind you guys, today's broadcast is sponsored by Umbro Premier. You can head to umbroteam.com to start designing your team kit for free now. Produced by Umbro, designed and worn by you. Fine, Chosa's going to drill this in. Headed at that far post by Court. Sokolowski is waiting behind him to connect. An important header. CPR will have the throw in deep inside of NYAC's half. Comes on the edge, and Franco saw his name in the headlines but didn't connect with the volley at all. Hafez. Cooper. Hafez switching it cross field. Jonathan Lima brings it down well, but Farouk Osman sticking to him closely. Majority of CPR success so far this season has come away from home. Just one of their 8 points they've earned has been here at Jack McManus Field, as here comes their centre forward. Sokolowski sets it back. There was a huge chance there for Brandon Newman, who totally scuffed the shot. Might have been Jao Lima even, excuse me. Here's Aidan Cooper. Beringia onto his left foot. Osman sticking with him well, but it will be another Central Park Rangers corner. Well, I thought it was a corner kick. I think everyone else did. But the linesman on the other side of the field has given it as a goal kick. Sokolowski serving up with Jao Lima. He's down on a platter, but big miss for CPR. Perret lost it to Wheaton Shop. Sokolowski. Beringia. He's got Jonathan Lima on the overlap. Too much on the pass. And Jonathan Lima, after making a long busting run forwards, is going to try and get back into his left back position. Beringia didn't really fill in for him, and it's sent straight up to Farouk Osman. Look at that for a recovery though from Jonathan Lima. Lungs of steel, and he's running right back up the other end again. He's going to have to then go back in. Here comes Osman. Doran, good ball inside. Here comes a shot, took a deflection. There's Leighton Purchase who let fly. Comfortable save for Kelleher. Deflections could have caused him an issue. Jonathan Lima. Two Limas in there. Besides, they have no relation, just a coincidental similar name. Hafez. Good press by NYAC, but Kelleher very cool. And Frank Chosap able to play it out. Driven cross field. Sokolowski able to keep it in, but Phipps pickpocketed him. Be a throw in for CPR. Cooper. Franchosa. Justin Peters. Intercepted by Nesheim. Farouk Osman. McKeon was the intended target of that pass. It's lost. It's going to come into Matt Beringia. Got his feet in the muddle, and Ferro winning it back. Doran. Perret. Turned over by the white shirts for CPR. Beringia. Central Park Rangers steaming forwards. Wheaton Shop opens up. Wheaton Shop got decent contact behind it, but straight into the hands of Dimopoulos. NYAC are looking vulnerable defensively in that midfield in particular. There's been 3 or 4 times their lines have been broken in these first 20 odd minutes, and the back four's been very exposed. Caught. Phipps, he's lost it. Wheaton shop. Newman. Wheaton shop. Franchosa gives it to Peters. Cooper. Havertz went down. Referee wasn't interested. Let play go on. Jonathan Lima. Good spin by Wheaton shop. Here's Brandon Newman. Jonathan Lima. Fez. João Lima. Patient play by Central Park Rangers. It is a tight pitch here at Roosevelt Island. Switch crossfield towards Wheaton shop. Slightly too much on it by João Lima. Dimopoulos' clearance not connected on by anyone. Phipps will retrieve the ball. Caught. Phipps. Tony Rocker. NYAC haven't got him on the ball enough early in this game. Well played out there by NYAC initially, but they're struggling to fully break out of the CPR press. This time they will do it, but Ferrer's pass loose to Jack Doran. Sokolowski looking for a give and go off of João Lima. But back again with Central Park Rangers. Cooper. Hafez throws it crossfield. Jonathan Lima heads it inside. Caught anticipating. Rocker riding 2 tackles. Dimopoulos finding Nassim. This time we'll just drill it up towards Jack Doran. Falls in the middle to Perret. Ferrer. Rocker. Cole Perret. Purchase. It comes back to Cole Perret. Oh, it's flashed over the crossbar. Jack Doran from point blank range. Came at him quickly, but I'm still not quite sure how he's put that over the crossbar at that range. Massive let off for Central Park Rangers. First time they've really been defensively tested by NYAC That should have been a goal. Driven up down the other end towards Sokolowski. Phipps with the win back and also giving the possession team a policy. He gets it back from the keeper, Hakeem Phipps. Tries to force it down the left flank. Hafez covering. Peters. Relatively open field to the game so far. João Lima. One touch too many. And here comes Cole Parrott. CPR a little short at the back here. It's Parrott still. It's Leighton Purchase. It's 1-0 NYAC. Flag stays down. NYAC strike first. Leighton Purchase with his second goal of the season. It could prove to be one of the most important for NYAC's campaign. For all Central Park's possession, they got caught with their pants down there. Cole driving at the back line, that was very short-handed. Was patient with his pass, fed in Leighton Purchase at the perfect moment, and Purchase with no mistake, no faltering, tucking it home. As CPR's worries only deepen. It's a poor pass by Jonathan Lima. Jack Doran surging forwards. One back in the middle and then nicely played out between the two Limas. So right now, very early on in the evening, but Vistula sitting in 9th on 13. Zoom Snyder, oh sorry, now NYAC even on 10th, just outside the relegation zone with 12 points. Zoom Snyder inside the relegation playoff spot on 10 points, and Central Park Rangers rooted to the bottom in the automatic relegation spot on 8 points. And again, reminder, we're going to have Vistula against Zoom Snyder at 7:30 p.m. back here at Jack McManus Field. The second of our back-to-back relegation 6-pointers. But Central Park Rangers certainly with lots of time to turn this round, and other than not finding a goal, I've had a lot of positives in possession overall. Created one very good chance and a few half chances, but defensively exposed twice in quick succession, and Purchase tucking home that second chance. Brendan Newman, Wheaton Shop, switches it towards Matt Beringer, too much on the pass. And NYAC are going to be forced to make, well, they're going to try and make a substitution. They're not going to be able to do it just yet, but I think Brent McKeown is going to have to come off very soon. Had to sit down. So there's Brent McKeown, who sadly has to limp off. Malcolm Benengo is replacing him. Looks like a straight positional swap. So Beningo going in at that right back position. Peters looking down the channel for Sokolowski. Okay, Akeem Fitz holding him off. It's going to be a corner kick for Central Park Rangers. Franchosa's just hanging around to that far post. Sorry, that's Jao Lima even, who's now run into the 6-yard box, sent in towards his direction, headed clear before it could cause too much mischief. Leighton purchased the goal scorer with the header. Cooper. Bit of a hospital ball, but dealt with well by Wheaton Shop. Initially, got crowded out after a few tackles. Hafez. Searching ball towards Beringer. Dimopoulos is a long way off his line. Acrobatic clearance. The ball's going to stay in here. Beringer hooks it back in off the line. What a goal that would have been. Beringer with the reverse kick in a very tight angle, and he nearly lofted it in. I think it was Core with an equally good clearance off the line. Dimopoulos never looked comfortable as he came off his line and lost his balance, got a leg to hook it up, but not really away, more just up. And Beringer nearly punishing the NYAC goalkeeper for the error. Jonathan Lima did really well to keep that one in. Lima got it away from Beningo. Jonathan Lima coming in towards the area. Lima still going. Wheaton Shop will have to settle for the corner kick. Good defensive covering from NYAC after the initial breakthrough down that left side by Lima. Lofted ball, and that's not what CPR needed. Gone well over the crowd. So guys, a reminder of what we've got coming up later today on Game of Frame. As I said, at 7:30 p.m, the second of our relegation double header. Zoom Schneider against Vistula Garfield, those two sitting just above NYAC and Central Park Rangers at the start of today. And then in the middle of the week, we're going to have Leros against Doxa, Hellenic Derby. Just hang on a second. NYAC are going to just about get away from that. All the Greek teams off this weekend due to Orthodox Easter, and if any of them are watching, happy Orthodox Easter to you. Every game counting now in the APSL season. We're in the final quarter, give or take, of the campaign. The title race, the playoff battle and relegation still all to be decided. Hafez. Wheaton Shop, lovely interchange initially, but too much zip on the pass by Zhao Lima for Jonathan Lima. Osman intercepted by Franchosa. Berinja. Hafez drives it cross-field. Wheaton Shop tried to square it first time. Peters. One back by Leighton Purchase. Rocker. Ferrer. Here come NYAC again, looking threatening on the break initially. Purchase got his first touch in the muddle. CPR, lots of bodies back now. Here's Tony Rocker, former MLS player. And still, as he embarks into his 30s with lots of quality that he showed plenty of times last month. Headed away with the slightest of flicks from Cooper. Lima down the channel. I think the flag might go up here against Berinja. It does. Went off just a little early. So again, here the CPR management right in front of us, switching the formation to 4-3-3. So it looks as if Sokolowski is going to be in the centre force position. Berinja will go to the left wing. And it appears Wheaton Shop on that right wing. Purchase in towards Osman. Ball was too high for him to do much with. Certainly was going to test Keller with a header from that range. Zhao Lima, ranging ball towards Wheaton Shop. It's a good one. Two options with him. Wheaton Shop back to Sokolowski. Wheaton Shop again. It's a dangerous cross. Headed away at the front post by Nasheem. But yet another Central Park Rangers corner. Well past 5 at this point. Inside the final 10 minutes of this first half. Purchase's goal giving NYAC this slender lead. Brandon Newman. Ball was swept in towards the front post. Cooper sensed opportunity. Ball cleared before it could reach him. And here comes Jack Doran. He's going to look to set away Varun Kosman. Too much on the pass. I'm not sure if I was seeing double earlier or if Jack Doran has adjusted his jersey, but he now appears to be number 10. Jonathan Lima. Berinja. Didn't get it back from Zhao Lima. Here's Tony Rocker. Right, content to be patient with the possession. Cooper. Then he tried to force that one. Franchosa. Sokolaski. Wheaton's shop. Chops back. Akeem Phipps all over him. Wheaton's shop still with it. Peters, lots of white shirts waiting for it in the area. Franchosa will drive it in. Cleared out by Beningo. Brendan Newman. Hafez. Jonathan Lima into Matt Beringia. CPR probing for the equaliser. João Lima got his footwork messed up, but then he wins it back, and then very canny by Cole Perret to deflect it off him. So have a bit of turf raised up. That's going to need to be stamped down. Someone needs to get some staples to put the carpet back down on the floor. I'm not sure how old the turf is here at Resort Island, but I think it gets more than enough use. Rocker. Farahamba. Farahamba, fair even, excuse me, got that totally the wrong way around. Dimo Polis. Back to Farah. Cool. Misconnected with the pass. Newman has got caught on it. Cole Perret coming into the area. It's Perret still. Cole Perret and Osman 2-0. NYAC strike again on the break. They double the lead right before the half-time interval. They have the cushion at Roosevelt Island, and it's their 3 points to lose now. Newman losing it in a terrible position. Again, it's Cole Perret who turned it around in midfield and kept his composure to find the assist. Now Osman, with a low true finish, had to score from there. And I said earlier today that this is, between the two teams, actually more of a must-win game in my opinion for NYAC than CPR, given how difficult NYAC's running is after today. And they are halfway to getting the job done. They are for now outside the relegation zone, although that could change if CPR come back, and even if NYAC do win today, could change in the next few hours if Zoom Snyder then got a positive result against Vistula. Wheaton shot, firing it back in. Brendan Newman. Lima, dancing fit, and it's Lima over the crossbar. Did really well to get the ball to his left foot there, João Lima, but leant back as he let fly. Colperet hasn't actually seen much of the ball in this first half, but when he has got it, he's made the most of it. That's a good touch there by Sokolowski. It's fed out to Matt Beringer, one-on-one with Beningo. Beringer tried to squeeze it across 6-yard box. Beningo sticking very closely to him. Swung towards the far post. Hafez back into the danger area. Oh, it's gone in! It's an own goal! Osman trying to rescue it on the line. Or Beningo even, I think. There was a header from his own teammate initially who headed it in towards the frame, and then Beningo couldn't rescue the situation. And Central Park Rangers pull one back. An immediate response to going 2 down. That was just what they needed. Going in at half-time 2-1 down, very different to being 2 down. Just got a signal from the fourth official. We're only going to have 1 minute of stoppage time. Well, in this first half already, we've had more goals than the last 3 games combined between these two sides. I think it's got plenty more in it. Here comes Omar Osman. Gives it towards Tony Rocker. He can hit it. Tony Rocker! That sweet left foot couldn't keep it down this time. He scored from further out than that a few weeks ago at this very ground. Flicked on by Sokolowski. Beningo there to meet it. Ferrer caught clumsily by Francoska. Not a malicious tackle, but certainly clumsy. And you could hear the contact on Ferrer's foot. That one is going to have a bruise tomorrow. Francoska quick to offer his apologies. Ball will be driven up towards the edge of the penalty area, headed in. Nearly fell to Doran, his Perret, and it's Tony Rocker again. Akeem Phipps. Purchase. He's totally sold Peters there and lost his balance at the key moment. Newman recovered, and that's the final action of a compelling first half. Leighton Purchase opening the scoring midway through the half for NYAC on the counter-attack, set up by Colperet, who then teed up Osman on the 41st minute to double NYAC's advantage. But CPR pulling one back right before half-time off of a corner kick. A couple of headers and ricochets end up going in off of Beningo into his own net. NYAC at the moment pulling clear of the relegation zone for now. Central Park Rangers heading towards their 7th defeat in a row and staying at the bottom. But a lot could change here in the second half. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back shortly.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish, flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential. Hello everyone, welcome back to Jack McManus Field. A few changes have been made by both sides. Tim Williams has come on at centre forwards for Sai Sokolowski. He will kick Central Park Rangers off here. Also Michael Viveros on right wing. And Ezekiel Rowland also on right wing. Right back, excuse me. Peters off, who is at right back. Jao Lima, the number 10, has been replaced. Wheaton Shop has moved into that position. And as I was saying, Sai Sokolowski also off. And then for New York Athletic Club, Samuka Kene has come on for Akeem Phipps. I was told, but actually, you know what? It looks like Akeem Phipps is still on for now, so we might have to recheck that in a second. I was told that change is being made. Looks like Phipps is on for now. So we'll try and get our bearing with that momentarily. But off for this second half. NYAC scoring twice on the break for CPR, levelling with their own goal right before half time. Here comes NYAC again. It's Cole Perrette, who was the creator of the first two goals. This time he went for it himself, and it's closed down for an early corner kick for NYAC. So for whatever reason, NYAC have not brought on Kene just yet. Did have him stripped down. It's whipped in and fizzed around very dangerously. I think he may have forgot perhaps his shin pads. We'll see shortly. Another APSL Metro result coming in a few minutes ago. Hoboken even beating Richmond County 4-2. So that extends Hoboken's lead over Doxa to 9 points. Doxa do have a game in hand. That will be the away match against Leros in the middle of the week, which of course we'll have back here on Game and Frame. But Doxa running out of games certainly to catch Hoboken. They're going to have to be near perfect and also require Hoboken to slip up at least twice. Here's Viveros surging forwards. Comes back to Newman. Very compact there. Williams couldn't help it around the corner. One back by Franchosa. Wheaton Shop tried to help it in, cleared out by NYAC. Timothy Williams, Franchosa, Rowland. I've actually been told, I was given some incorrect information at the beginning of the game, so it's actually Yusuf Diallo who's centre back in the number 23, not Hafez, who shares the same first name but signed in later. Might see him later in the game. Core drills it up. Newman. Roland down the channel. Viveros. Thrown for CPR. Wheaton Shop. And Shosap. Floated in towards Tim Williams, who went for the acrobatic, didn't catch it cleanly. if he did at that range. Certain goal, you'd feel. CPR once again starting a half positively. Commanding header. Franchosa. Tussle between Osman and Jonathan Lima. Lima who won it. Cooper. Roland. Able to thread his way between two red shirts. Wheaton Shop, past Rocker, still with it, Wheaton Shop, let's fly! And Dimo Polis palms it around the post. Wheaton Shop taking on half of Central Park Rangers, or NYAC even, excuse me, his defence there, and caught it really nicely, swerved horrendously for Dimo Polis, but the keeper watched it well to palm around the post. Lima with the outswing up. Diallo rose. But under the pressure from Nassim, couldn't connect cleanly. Looks like Kenny is now going to be introduced. Maybe in the next interval. Got a local motorbike gang going in behind us. Not sure you see that every day on the normally rather vanilla Roosevelt Island. Held in by Beningo. Comes to Tony Rocker. Thought about having a hit for a second, couldn't see the gap. Ferro will instead, and that was moving, but well wide. Rocker. Well read by Cooper. Lima. Newman giving it back to Franchosa, who switches it to Roland. Newman again. Newman, lovely spin by Brendan Newman. Viveros was just possessed though. And here comes Cole Perrette. Perrette still with it. Onto his right foot. Lashed it over the crossbar. Wheaton Shop. Franchosa. Rolling with some space. Down the channel to Michael Viveros. Big shout from Diamopoulos, who came off his line and gathered. And he's going to look direct for Jack Durant. Kelleher giving it to Cooper. Lima. Cooper just clearing the lines. It's a good flick on. And Tim Williams has got an overload on this right side. It's Michael Viveros. Didn't catch it cleanly, and it also took a deflection off of Kene, which took a lot of the sting out of the shot. That looked like it came off of the hand of Varun Kosman. And it is called back. Newman to Berinja. And Chosa. Hoofed clear by Beningo. Cooper. CPR having most of possession, as they have for much of the contest. Kene popping it up. It's going to fall to Williams here. Viveros. Reaching shop. Diallo. Diallo. Floats it up towards Roland. It's a good ball. Couldn't send it down to Williams, but Williams will win it back. Newman. Diallo. Switch it to Berinja, who's back in the left back position. Diallo. Roland. Really good step. In the middle by Court. Rocker. Ferrer drives it up in the direction of Perrett. Diallo there to meet it. The two substitutes, well, one of the substitutes, excuse me, Kene battling, sort of two combatively. Franchosa. Diallo towards Viveros. No one feeding off of him, and Dimopolis coming to the edge of his area. Approaching the hour mark here. Given out wide. Fed in towards the far post. What a brilliant header by Varun Kosman, who gets his second of the evening and NYAC's third. And they have the cushion again. NYAC have been absolutely ruthless in the 18-yard box. Osman just wanted that ball more and threw himself in and powered in. Berinja may have got a bit of a knock on the back of the head from that as well, so trainer rightfully being called on. But New York Athletic Club once again in control here at Roosevelt Island, and once again after a long period of Central Park Rangers possession. And Osman has now scored all 3 of his goals this season in the APSL in the last 2 games. And Barinja's got, you can see, quite, well, might not be on him because on the game, but he's got a bloody cut right on his forehead. There's head-to-head collision. Rocco wins it back. Receives it from Perret, and Osman, who is on a hat-trick, being invited forwards. That pass asking a lot of him. And he can only keep it from going out for a goal kick. CPR are going to make a change for the bloodied Matt Barinja. It's Will Knight who has come on.
Adrian is left wing. Adrian left wing.
It's been a lot of shuffling around positionally for CPR. Starting off in the 4-4-2 with the diamond, and then they switched midway through the half to 4-3-3. But amongst that as well, a lot of these players have moved around where they fitted in. Lima under pressure by Osman. Under a lot of pressure between him and Doran. Flicked it a little riskily into Brendan Newman, who able to partially clear it. Another pair of changes coming from NYAC. Jake Roshansky and Stefanos Hondrakis are going to be introduced shortly. Rockus, a really poor throw in from Central Park Rangers. Well, back by Diallo. Rocker winning it back. Tony Rocker. Rocker still! He surely sealed it! NYAC clawing their way out the relegation zone. It's 4-1. And it's surely the win they so desperately needed. Rocker on the mark for the 4th time in 4 weeks for Athletic Club. It's a catastrophic couple of minutes for CPR. And hard to imagine they can pull themselves out of this one. They're going to remain rooted at the bottom of the APSL Metro Conference. Still with games they will feel they can get points out of, with 5 of their remaining 6, or 3, sorry, their remaining 5 games against the bottom 5, but it's going to put enormous pressure on them now to get results in those, unless they can somehow salvage something here. But I think this might have run away from them. 30 minutes to find 3 goals. Knight searching on that left side for Wheaton Shop, too much on it. Timo Polis, can it clear? And guys, a reminder, we will have more APSL action after this. Zoom Snyder against Vistula Garfield, the second of our relegation battle double header. That's going to be at 7:30 p.m. kickoff back here at Jack McManus Field. With this result, it will put Zoom Snyder, for now at least, in the relegation playoff position. If they got themselves a win against Vistula, they'll jump back out of it. And also we're going to have the Greek derby between Leros and Doxa on Wednesday evening. Of course, all the Greek teams off this weekend due to Orthodox Easter. It's yet to be determined when the Pancyprians and Greeks game will be played. Last update I got was probably early May, midweek. Viveros in the direction of Williams, but he couldn't bring it under his spell. CPR might be scratching their head at how they are 4-1 down here, because they have had most of the possession. But haven't created probably enough chances, particularly in the second half. And it was very, very loose to hand that forth to Tony Rocker. Lost the ball twice in quick succession, trying to play out the back, and with a player of Rocker's quality, you're going to get punished. Newman doubled up on, and then he came through Rocker, and he's going to deservedly go into the book for that. He got the ball, but after he'd clattered through Rocker's shins, Michael Wampler is going to come on. Not sure who it is who's going to be replaced. There seems to be a lot of confusion about this substitution. It's finally been done. So Osman with the brace to his name, falls to Wampler, and then to Beningo, who cannoned it into Brendan Newman. Was hammered clear. And have someone down in the area. I'm not sure what happened there, because it wasn't whoever's down. It wasn't him who took the ball to the body. But clearly some concern here for Jonathan Lima. At least I didn't think it was him who took that shot by Beningo. Maybe I missaw it. I must admit, I myself am still dealing with the lingering effects of a concussion from a head injury, so might be seeing double. Not sure exactly what happened there to Lima, but he's going to come off. He's holding the back of his head. Quite rightfully, Central Park Rangers taking no chances with that. Hafez is going to come on. Brendan Newman replace it. Looks like Hafez is going to go into the centre of the park. And then another change is being hurried on to replace CPR. Their second head injury, that's forced a substitution. Not what you want to see at all. It's Ibrahim Abbar, who's also come on. A comeback is going to happen for CPR. They've got to find a goal soon to give themselves a glimmer of hope. And incidentally, they've now conceded 29 goals in their last 7 games, scoring just 7 in reply. It has been really that run of form that has left them in the position that they find themselves in now. Well played out by NYAC. Wampler. Hafez sticking closely to him. Looks like Hafez actually is in the left back position. It's one back by Beningo. And Hondrakis. Rocker. There's another clumsy tackle on Rocker, who's getting a little knocked around at the moment. Roshansky. Ondrakis. Tony Rocker. Kene standing the dummy. Floats it in. Ondrakis going for the bicycle kick. And that will fall to the hands of Kelleher. Viveros. Will Knight. There's a little tug by Rocker, and Knight just stops. You can't do that. Here's Roshansky. Rocker. Ondrakis. Driven in and headed clear by Cooper. Ferret. One back by Williams. Viveros. Good recovery by Ferrer. Kept in by Kene. That's a lovely ball through towards Will Knight by Franchosa. Important reaction by Court. Williams. Tackled by Kene. Corner kick. Well, I thought it was a corner kick right in front of the nice lady, but she saw differently, and it will be a goal kick for the visitors. NYAC veteran Matt Contino is going to come on shortly. Contino 2 years ago saved NYAC from relegation on the final day, delivered in a peach of a cross with 7 minutes left against Suffolk County to draw NYAC level and relegate Suffolk County at their expense. Still got lots of running left in him. Looks like Contino is going to be on the left wing. Cole Parrott and Jack Duran were subbed off for Ondrakis and Roshansky somewhere in the last few minutes as well. I think that might have been whilst CPI had the injuries. Here's Viveros forcing his way down the channel, and this time he will get a corner kick. Viveros to deliver. Floats it in. Dimopolis got a hand to it. It comes to Wheaton's shot. Hits the side netting. Took a touch, I think, from Kene on the way. It might have been an all-important touch. Another corner for CPR. Wheaton's shot spins it in. Ondrakis got a slight touch to it, and this time it will end up being a goal kick for NYAC. This will be their second win in 3 games, and most importantly, wins against teams close to them in the table, which they had really been lacking up to that point. Tony Rocker couldn't find Contino. One pluck. Beningo Diallo gives it back to Kelleher and gets it back from his goalkeeper. Risky but effective 1-2 between those two. Wheaton Shop does well to cut inside. Hafez coaxes it out to Viveros, who cuts inside. There's a little tug on him there. Viveros goes down. Penalty, Central Park Rangers. Don't think there could be any doubt about that. You could see the tug initially. And could they pull one back here with 15 minutes left? It will be Michael Viveros who won it, who will take it. Can he ignite the start of an unlikely Central Park Rangers comeback? Viveros sends Dimopolis the wrong way. It's 4-2. Maybe, just maybe, Central Park Rangers can rescue this one. It's Viveros' first goal for Central Park Rangers in the APSL. It gives them something to chase it. NYAC have to be careful. Quarter an hour left to go here. Roshansky. Hondrakis over the crossbar. Cooper. Route 1. The team pops it back where it came from. Well, NYAC will know better than anyone that you can come back from 3 down in this field, having done it a few weeks ago against Sim Snyder. They're not out of the woods yet. Rocker. Turned over. Here's Will Knight. Viveros allowed to turn. It's Knight again. Flag stays down. Will Knight drilled it in at that near post. Swatted away by Dimopolis. Diallo. Referee's going to play advantage here. Roland. Couldn't sell Contino. Rocker canning away from danger. Diallo. Contino. Ferrer. Roshansky. Zippy play by New York Athletic Club. Roshansky spotting Kelleher slightly off his line. Very ambitious effort. But Diallo. Approaching the final 10 minutes here at Jack McManus Field. NYAC Athletic Club at the moment pulling themselves clear of the relegation zone. Zoom Snyder will be able to respond when they play at 7:30 p.m. back here at Jack McManus. Be a throw in, oh sorry, a free kick even for CPR. Rocker. Ondrakis. Ball's forced out. Diallo around the corner to Bart. Knight loses it. Roshansky. Beningo, really poor pass. Bart. Hafez. Lots of space here for Roland. Viveros. Core sticking closely to him, hacking it clear. Viveros. Roland. Franchosa. No one at that far post. Reaching shop. He got brought down there, and Central Park Rangers are going to get a free kick in a very promising position. Right on the corner of the penalty area. Franchosa standing over it. Could go for the target from this angle. Franchosa, a foot or so wide of the post. Demopolis clearing. Franchosa heading it back in the direction it came from. Hatch clear by Beningo. It's turned over. Contino could get into the action here, and he got his feet in a mess. May have been trying to leave that for Roshansky, but I don't think so. I think he was trying to give himself half a yard. Just got it caught under him. Beningo putting it into orbit. This will be NYAC's fourth victory of the season, presuming they can hold on here, and 3 of those 4 coming away from home. Definitely been better on their travels than at Travers Island. Franchosa in towards Williams. Took a bounce, but Demopolis will gather. NYAC nearing the finish line. What would be a massive result. Past 2 seasons, they have escapes relegation by the finest of margins. It looks as if it's going to be a similar story for them this year. And if they do end up making the cut, they're going to certainly look back to this victory as a pivotal moment in their survival. Ferrer, Rocker, Sané, bursting forwards. Still with it, Sané. Couldn't find Contino. Hafez. Brought down. Viveros. Will Knight has found a little space on this right side. No one really taking for in the area. Whips it across anyway towards the far post. Well, it's not a bad cross at all, but no one had gambled in a white shirt. Inexplicably at this point, given a desperate need for goals, but Timothy Williams wasn't in a particular hurry to get himself into that 18-yard box. Contino gets it back from Sané. Diallo covering. Kelleher, a good ball to Viveros. He couldn't keep it in play. Bar. Reach and shop. Rocker winning it back. Contino couldn't pull it out the sky. Here's Viveros. Will Knight. That final ball lacking for Central Park Rangers. Held into Will Knight, he pops it back up. Again, the body's just not there in the penalty area. Franchosa gets on the edge. Took a couple of ricochets. Roland. Diallo. Franchosa. Wheaton Shopper's lost it. The tussle on that far side. Wheaton Shop, who will come away with the throw-in. Rocker wins it back. And Sané is steaming up on the far side. Well anticipated by Diallo. Contino. Knight just needs to keep the ball, take more precious seconds off the clock. Haven't done it there. Well done by Diallo. If it's going to happen for CPR, it's got to happen now. They need to find 2 goals to at least salvage a point. Here's Michael Viveros. Not the right pass. So from a CPR perspective now, you'll be hoping in the 7:30 game that Zoom will lose to Vistula. That will keep Central Park Rangers within 2 points of at least the relegation playoff spot. If Zoom, I'm just not sure what the referee's blown up there for. If Zoom Snyder win though against Vistula, then CPR are in real trouble. They're going to be 5 points. Or sorry, 4 points adrift at the bottom. With 6 games remaining. For, well, 6 for some, but actually for CPR it'll just be 5 remaining. Williams. Franchosa couldn't find the feet of Knight. Ferrer. He's done well to burst through the midfield. Sané. Flags in this go up against Wampler. So just got 3 minutes of stoppage time, held up by the 4th official. Diallo. Good step by Sané. And Chosa. Diallo. Hafez. Roland. Viveros takes a deflection. Comes on the edge to Franchosa. Ibrahim Abar. Drilled it back in. Nasheem can't prevent it from going up for a corner kick. But surely at this stage a goal would be little more than consolation for CPR. A very scant consolation at that. Sent towards the far post, headed by Contino. Viveros. Diallo goes down, referee not interested. And NYAC could look to rub salt in the wound here. Rocker, peach of a pass. Roshansky. Draws it to Contino. A little bit of the sting out of the attacking issue, but it's back with Wampler. And Hondrakis over the crossbar. That goal would be a little more than academic at this point. CPR have certainly shown life today. I can take some positives from the performance. First 55 so minutes certainly had more possession. That's a beautiful footwork by Tony Rocker. But they have fallen short once again. It's the 7th consecutive defeat for Central Park Rangers. It's NYAC on the board with a victory for the 4th time this campaign, and how crucial it could prove to be. They leave the relegation spots for now at least, leapfrogging over Zoom Snyder, who will have a chance to respond at the 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Central Park Rangers rooted at the bottom of the table and in real danger. Entertaining game of football here. We'll see if we can get ourselves some post-match reaction from NYAC. Don't go anywhere, guys, we'll be back shortly.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish, flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobras, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic.
Hey guys, I'm here with NYAC captain Tony Rocker. Tony, really big game for you guys today. Fight for survival. How pleased were you with your performance today?
I mean, we were very pleased. We knew what was at stake for this game, so we knew we had to come out and put in a good performance, and we ended up doing it.
Central Park Rangers had a lot of the possession early on, but you guys struck like lightning on the break. What was the game plan? Were you expecting to have that sort of game early on?
Yeah, we didn't want to come out high pressing. We wanted to see how they were coming out playing. And we knew they threw a lot of numbers forward and they were exposed on the counterattack, so we were able to capitalize on our opportunities. You've
found a goal once again. I think it's 4 now for you in about four weeks. Is it just feeling every time you get on that left foot that you have that belief you can score?
I mean, yeah, I had a couple in the first half, and it's just a streak that I'm going, and hopefully I can continue.
Really important win for you guys today. Job's still not done. You have a pretty difficult run in. I think 5 out of your last 6 games are against the top 5. Yeah. You guys have seen it over the line the last 2 years, and it's always come down to the wire. What's going to be the key to see out this final period?
I mean, it's just taking it game by game. We know that majority of the games we play, we've been in them. We just have to capitalize on our opportunities and be solid at the back. So,
fantastic, Tony. Thanks for coming to the interview. Great watching you as always, and we'll see you soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Take care. All right, guys. Well, that just about does it for us here at Jack McManus for now. But reminder, we're going to be back at 7:30 p.m. We've got Zim Snyder already stripping down, and Vistula probably stuck in the Jersey Turnpike or something like that. But they're going to be here at 7:30 for another relegation heavyweight match. So make sure you tune into that. I'll be back on our YouTube channel. For now, big thank you to Joshua Jokru for doing great work on the camera. Thank you to the Metropolitan Soccer League for sponsoring the broadcast. Thank you to all of you for watching. This is Josh Pratt signing off from Jack McManus Field. We'll see you back here soon, shortly, hopefully, guys.